Hello everyone, here we are. We're going to try to do a value study with a cylinder, but just to remind you, if you're interested, again, I try to do videos not only just to show what I can do, but also that you, if you're interested, that you can do it yourselves. It's very easy. This is one of the first videos that I did, is the 1-point perspective. Okay, a 1-point perspective, and the 2-point perspective, the value study like we are going to do today, but instead of using a cat, we're going to do a cylinder. We did the color scale. We did the letter A using the 1-point perspective assignment that we started. The letter A there is this A here, the little box with a vanishing point to the center here. Here's your letter A. Okay. Then we did the letter B. Again, these are videos that are available that give you the step by step. Here's the letter C. And today we're going to do this value study. And if you like so far what you see, I would like for you to help me out, support me. I'm a retired art teacher of 44-year teaching. 40 of them in art. I would really appreciate your support and you clicking on like and subscribe, and leave any comments if you would like to. And the measurements that I use, like in this case here, you can change your measurements. I've done some of the measurements already so that I can get started and we don't waste much time. The measurements, you can decide on what measurements you would like. In my case, I have done a using the centimeters, I've done a 10 by 14, and the cylinder is going to be 5 centimeters wide and about 8 centimeters high. And we're going to be using the value scales 1 through 5, steps 1 through 5, number 1 being white and 5 being the darkest. And this is the value study here, the value scale. Here's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that there is this, a repetition of it. And this here is a study. It's not a real picture. It's not a real setting. It's just a study of value scale for practice purposes. Okay, so that you can go ahead and do any measurement or any object you would like. But you can follow with me if you want to follow with this. And I'm using regular pencils and erasers, regular paper. Okay, it's not fair that as artists we get to use good material and then we at home but don't have it. But if you get interested in it, you can go ahead and start applying it. Now what I do is I like to set up my steps 1 through 5. In this case, we're going to set our light source kind of in this area here. So this would be our light source. It could be a bulb, it could be the sun. So we're gonna write in here light source. Okay, so if we have the light over to the left side top, our shadow is going to be cast on to the other side. But before we get on that, this is going to be an open cylinder. Now, since we have a small paper, I have the fortunate luck of being able to move my paper around. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of sketch in the opening. Okay, so it's the center here, I found the center, and I'm going to create an opening for it. So I kind of try to keep it proportioned. And as you can see, we sketch in using various lines. We're not very particular about it because from here we're going to select. So it's an open cylinder. So whatever I have here on this edge, I'm going to draw it here at the bottom. So if you want to, you can connect with straight line segments, not lines, but line segments. And then you can sketch in the rest of it, rounding it off, same as the top part. So you take a look at it. And again, I use lines, my rulers. I like to use a ruler, but you can do it freehand if you want. Your whole cylinder, the whole project. Okay, but in a class situation, I will have to have control so that I could be able to see if the students understand. So now that I have all that, this is my table. The edge of the table is resting, the cylinder's resting on a table, and since the light source is over to the left side corner, obviously the shadow is going to be to the opposite side, to the right. So I'm going to kind of cast it again this way, and then this other one is right at the edge, and then this one's going to be here. So I'm going to angle this a little bit, and since my light source is on this side, my darkest area is going to be in this area opposite. So this would be number 5. So I'm going to 5, and I'm drawing them kind of light, 4, 3, and 2. 2 here because the light comes in straight lines and it bounces back and gives you a reflection. So our darkest area is going to be in this area here. So then I will go backwards, 4, 3, 2. And if you want to, you can draw kind of lines in here, light lines, so that it can help you guide your value scale. And then in here, I'm going to go with the shape of the object with a number 5, 4, 3, and then 2. And it'll go off the paper. This is the background. It's far away from the object. So in the background, I can play around so I can make the object stand out. So we're trying to have contrast at the same time. And in the background, you have the freedom, as an artist, to play around with the background. It doesn't matter. It's your drawing. Now, if we were commissioned to do it, we would have to follow the commission, what they want, a realistic. Again, it's not a real setting. It's just a study. So now I'm going to try, and then the opening. In this case, we're going to have it open. Okay, so the 5 is, here's your light source. This is the closest to the light source, so it's going to be darker. And number 1 is going to be over here. So we're going to have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now, we're going to go ahead and try to start with number 5 here. And I'm going to turn my paper around a little bit. And I don't like, for now, on this assignment, to use, we can use a stumper to smooth out. You can use your finger if you want, paper, tissue paper, but I like to play with the pencil itself. So I'm going to start out with a number, it doesn't matter if you go to the edge, because remember, this is going to be 5 here. So it's going to be 5 here, which is going to be number 5 is black, 3, again 5, 4, 3, and 2. So it doesn't matter if I go into the other side. Here you got to be more careful because that's number 1. So I'm going to start out very light, not too much pressure on my pencil, and at the same time I get familiar with my pencil and the graphite at the same time that I'm doing this. Start to see how my pencil reacts to the surface of the paper. Now that's another thing, that if you are going to be doing drawings, watercolors, pastels, whatever it is you're going to do, you need to become familiar with your materials, because all materials are different. All paper is different. The paper I'm using is just a regular typing paper. Again, I do have good quality drawing paper, but it's not fair to you if you don't have access to that. And then here I'm trying to show you what I can do. and you try to do it, it's not going to work the same. So here's number 5. So I start now. I started with apply a 2 all the way across. Now I'm going to apply number 5 over again, but not as black. And I'm going to keep an eye to the transitions of my pencil strokes, my scales. Okay, you want to keep a smooth transition from one scale to the other. You also have to be careful that there's nothing underneath your papers, because otherwise it starts showing. You see right there, it starts showing a spot. Something was in the back. So here's number 5. I'm going to go ahead and apply now a darker 5. And I'll go number 3. So now we have, I think, a finished product. We'll leave that line there. We could erase it and our brain will see it, but we'll leave it there, that one there, that edge there. And I think we can go ahead and call it a finished drawing or study. And again, it's not realistic. And here we have a value study with a cylinder using pencil. And this is the practice one that I had done. Okay. So we'll call it finished, and we see you again. Make sure to check our videos, the previous videos, and please click on like and subscribe if you liked what you saw and you learned something. See you again later. Bye-bye.